Welcome to this module, and we're going to be talking about baiting and grooming in this module. Now, from the word baiting, most of you already know what baiting is, but maybe not grooming. So I'm going to start from grooming, then we go down to baiting. So grooming is anything you do that makes them look and feel good. Majority of the grooming we do happens after baiting, but not all happens after baiting. So let's start with the ones that happen after baiting. The things you do after you bait them that makes them look and feel good. For example, you cream their body, you put on their roll-ons, spray perfumes, comb their hair, apply cosmetics, all that thing you do are called grooming. So which of the grooming can be done before baiting? Do we have some ideas? Like shaving them. Yes, shaving their armpits and shaving their private parts. And yes, a female caregiver can shave the men, and vice versa. A male caregiver can also shave the women. All right, so we groom them, we help them feel good, we help them look good. That's what grooming is called. It is important to know that internationally, the kind of care that is practiced is called a person-centered care. The kind of care or the method of caregiving that is practiced internationally is called person-centered. It's all about the person. Person-centered care. And person-centered care simply means that you have to respect the person's privacy, you have to respect the person's emotions, their thoughts, anything they want is superior to what you want. Okay, so while giving them care, it has to be all about them and not about you. So while giving them care and they don't feel like baiting, you cannot actually force them to go to the bathroom. You can use some diplomatic tips here and there to get them to agree, but you cannot force anybody. If you force somebody out of their will, you're going to land yourself, where people normally land themselves, you're going to land yourself there. Okay, so when it comes to grooming, it has to be based on what they want. So dressing them up is also part of grooming. Once you're done baiting Mr. Morris and you want to dress him up, you cannot force him to wear a red polo. You cannot force him to wear a white shirt. If he says he wants to wear a black t-shirt, a black t-shirt it is going to be. You need to respect that. You need to respect what he wants, his own feelings, okay? His own decisions must be highly respected. So in as much as it is your role, it is your job to bait them, it is your job to groom them, you cannot just choose to use anything. Okay, I'm done baiting you, so therefore I'm rubbing you cream. You must seek permission and get permission before you apply that cream on their body, before you comb the hair, before you apply cosmetics. Don't just say you look pale, Mrs. Jones, so therefore I have to, you have to use powder today. No, it is all about them. It's about what they want. So baiting and grooming. Grooming is everything you do that makes them look and feel good. Now, when it comes to baiting, we have 3 types of baiting. We know what baiting is already, to help them to be clean, to wash their bodies for them to be clean. But we have 3 types of baiting. We have the bed bath, we have the sponge bath, then we have the bathroom bath. From the names, it's quite easy to understand what it actually means. So a bed bath is, just like the name says, is done on the bed. Okay, you care for them while they are lying down. All right, you can turn them to scrub their back, you do all that. But now a sponge bath can also be done on a bed, but a sponge bath can also be done on the chair, on their wheelchair, or in whatever position. Okay, now the difference between the sponge bath and the bed bath is the kind of fabric or the kind of sponge you use to bathe them. So with a bed bath, you use what we call washcloths, what you know as face towels, to bathe them on the bed. But a sponge bath, you use a sponge. With a sponge bath, they can get wet. Then on the sponge bath, you can scrub, you can get wet. So you might want to be careful with the environment where you want to try a sponge bath. You shouldn't be doing a sponge bath in a mattress where the foam is not covered with some Macintosh. Okay, you don't want to have a sponge bath in a room that has rug on the floor, because it can get wet. But a tiled room, you can do a sponge bath, because after bathing you can easily mop the floor and get the whole place to be dried. Okay, so with a sponge bath you can really get wet, though you're not in the bathroom, but you can actually get wet. Right, in our practical section we're going to practicalize some of these things. But with the bed bath, you use a washcloth, so you scrub them with the towels, and when you're done, the same towels will be used to mop out all the soapy areas from their body. But then we also have the bathroom bath, which you have to take them into the bathroom for them to have a good shower and all that. But there's some things you need to put into consideration when you are taking them into the bathroom. We already know that most of the major injuries and most of the accident occurs in the bathroom. The bathroom is a very, very dicey place to take elderly people to. So precautions must be taken before you take them into the bathroom to reduce the risk of falling down, breaking head, and all those things that happen in the bathroom. So what are the things we look out for when we take them to the bathroom? First of all, be sure that the place is well lighted. You don't want to take them into a bathroom that is dark and you can't even see what is happening there. Be sure that the place is well lighted before you take them in. Then also check that the floor is dry. Did somebody bathe before now? Is the place wet? Is there any reason why somebody can slip and fall? Make sure you clean the floors before you take them in. Then if there are shower curtains in that bathroom, be sure it is installed properly. Something is not going to cause some kind of injury while they are there. Most elderly people will be needing a stool, a medical stool for them to sit on, not wooden stool like we see in some of our home countries, right? Not wooden stool, but a medical stool, and be sure that it's not wobbling. If it is, you want to use a screw and tighten that properly so it doesn't also cause a fall. Now, there has to be a mat on the floor. The mat on the floor of the bathtub gives a firm grip. Normally, we know the bathtubs can be really slippery, but when you have a mat in there, it can give you that firm grip to avoid a fall. Make sure that everything that is needed is within close reach. You don't want the soap to be far away so they don't have to stretch. You don't want the sponge, the towel to be just far away. Bring them close. I mean, most of us that have taken care of our grandparents, we help them to, when they want to bathe, we bring the buckets close, we bring the sponge, the towels, everything is around before your grandma comes there to bathe. So make sure everything is within close reach, even if you will have to be there with them in the bathroom, which is what is recommended. Do not be so far away from them. But most times, remember, you are also the one bathing them, so you have to make sure everything is within close reach. So at no point do you have to step out to go bring anything. So before you start bathing, you have to make sure that everything is within close reach. And do not leave clients alone, especially if they require extreme attention from you. Do not leave clients alone. Make sure you are always close to them. Make sure they are always available next to you. Now, when it comes to caring for people, you need to understand that sometimes what they are going through can make them resist a care. We have this notion that when somebody is rude, a service user is rude, you just conclude, oh God, this woman is a racist. It's not always the case. They might be going through some serious pain, some kind of discomfort, and you don't want to force them. For example, you want to come and bathe Mr. Morris, and he says, do you know what? Just get out of my room for dinner. I'm not in the mood to bathe right now. It does not necessarily mean he wants to give you tough time. He might be going through pains. He might be going through serious discomfort. Imagine he just got in from a walk. He's just trying to rest. The next thing you say, hey, Mr. Morris, it's time to bathe. It's not time to bathe, for crying out loud. Just get out of my room. All I want right now is to sleep and rest. So understand what they are going through. Don't always conclude, I think he doesn't like me. I think she doesn't like me. It is not always the case. I mean, it can also be the case, but not always the case. So understand that they are going through some difficulty, they are experiencing physical pain, they are having discomfort, limited mobility and all that. Try to understand them and don't force them to do what they don't want to do. You can always Tell them the importance, the reason why you need to bathe, the reason why you need to take this medication now. I think it is not right for you to be in a room that is cold. You can explain diplomatically, tell them all that, but you cannot force them. Sometimes it might even be memory loss. They might have some form of dementia, whatever, that can make them not to communicate effectively. But you, as the professional, you have to be in that position whereby you understand what they want and at what time they want it. So do not do things when you have not gotten permission to do that. You cannot just come and pull his clothes and say it's time to bathe when he has not given you permission to do that. So seek permission, get permission before you start to perform any activity of daily living on your service user. I hope you've gotten value from this class. I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Bye for now.